Hello.
Hi.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Dana.
And we felt like we just needed to tell our stories about what happened.
Yep, something happened to us, and if this story could actually help somebody else, then we really want to put it out there. And we both felt that
this needed to be said, and to show how powerful we can be.
It's important because, you know, we really are powerful, and this story hopefully will help others to feel that, to realize this, and maybe it'll give somebody a boost in their confidence to deal with what's going on in the world right now.
Yep, absolutely. So, should we tell the story?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, so this all happened on Monday, August 16th. We just wanted to try to cross the border to go to Vermont so that we could go to this beautiful waterfall. We had seen articles that said the borders were open, so we thought we'd try, you know, what's the worst that can happen. And so we get to the border, and at this point we're already needing to, you know, use the bathroom. But we get to the border and they asked us normal questions. Where are you going? Where do you work? And we answered the questions, and then when we said we're going to the waterfall, they said, you know, the borders are closed, and we said we didn't know. So they said, okay, no problem, just go to the left side. So we had crossed into, I guess it's called no man's land at that point.
Yeah,
right?
the middle of the two.
So we had to kind of cross, but we went to the left side, and that's where a police officer greeted us and asked us to step out of the vehicle and get into the building of the police station. And we saw Biden up there, and we made jokes, and fake president Donald Trump's coming soon.
Yeah, that was funny.
Anyways, I really felt like there was no reason for us to be there, because they just escorted us back to the vehicle to hand us this paper that said that they refused us entry into the United States. And he said they made it seem like it wasn't going to be a big deal. Like, okay, you're just going to turn back around to get back on the Quebec side, and you won't have to do any PCR testing, which I thought was weird. So then we get to the Quebec side, and but before that we had asked if we could use the bathroom, and they said wait till you get to the Quebec side. So we said okay. So as soon as we get to the Quebec side, there's like about 5 cars in front of us, and there was a big lineup. We waited about like 30-40 minutes until that it was our turn, and as it was our turn, the patrol officers were switching their shifts, and we didn't get too lucky with the one that we stopped at. So yeah, basically
you know, everybody's different, every border guy is different, and this one, he was ready with his glove and his mask, and he asked us where our masks were, and we explained that we don't have masks because we are exempt, and then he basically told us that you know, he was like, why would you even try to go to the States? Don't you know the borders are closed? And we were like, no, we don't. Don't you watch? He just like,
he was being very rude.
Yeah, he wasn't allowing us to speak. He was just interrupting, like, don't you guys watch the news? Yeah. And even Ashley's like, no, I don't watch propaganda. And he's like, oh, well, there is a pandemic. Do you know? Not know. And it was just like, you know, okay, he could have his views, but he was really like, you could tell when someone's power tripping, you know, which is okay. That's how he was, but we weren't you know, like arguing back so much. We were just saying, you know, basically what we felt. But then he said, because you went to the States now, well, you entered the building on the US side, you need to quarantine for 14 days and do a PCR test here now. And both Ashley and I don't believe in this. We believe in our freedoms. We believe in, you know, informed consent. We don't believe in these, we feel this breaking all the human rights laws, and we're not alone in that.
We didn't do anything wrong. All we did was we entered a building, we listened to the cop telling us to get into this police station, and we wouldn't have gone in if it would have gotten to this case of quarantining and PCR testing, just because we walked into the building on the United States side, and there was nobody in that building. That's the reason why we have to quarantine and PCR. So when he told us that, I started laughing, because I thought like it was a joke, and he's like, do you think this is a joke? He's being very rude with us. And then I think Dana said like, well, this is not a law, and he's like, oh, it's not a law, and he got all defensive, and he took out his paper and showed us law number 58, but
emergency order.
Yeah, it's all emergency orders. It's not really a law though.
It's not. It's a mandate. It's a decree. It's not an actual law. We did not vote on this. And you know, trying to tell this guy that it wasn't working. He even brought out this paper that's saying that was it I will quarantine?
Yeah, I understand.
And that I must quarantine for 14 days, and had me say it out loud. It was very humiliating in a sense. It was just like a huge power trip. But I was just trying to be like, yeah, so we could get through. But I kind of like understand why Ashley was laughing, because it is ridiculous. And she said that, look, I'm not laughing at you, it's about the situation is ridiculous. And then he said something like, if you think this is funny, you can pull over to the left and speak to a health officer.
Yeah, because we were refusing the PCR. We asked if we could do the spit test. So they said that there's going to be a health public officer that could answer more of our questions regarding that.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. He made us pull to the left on the Quebec side, and then
very
the public
lovely.
health agent came to speak with us, and she was very rude as well, very dark energy. She didn't want to hear anything about what we were saying, and
she questioned the mask thing as well. And when we said we were exempt, it was like, both of you are exempt. It was just this reaction. And then she said, you need to do a PCR test. And I told her, look, I'll happily do a spit test, but I'm not about to put something into my body that I don't feel comfortable putting that. And then she looked at me dead in the eyes and said, it's the law. Just like that, it's the law. And then I tried to tell her it's actually not the law, because I do have rights. And when I said that, it was like, it wasn't, I could see that there was like no, I wasn't talking to anybody really, that she wasn't there. And I tried to speak to her when I saw that. I tried to speak to her, one human to another, and I said to her, look, I would never tell you what you should do with your own body. It's your body. And you, even though you work for the government, you don't get to tell me what I can put or what I should have to put in my body. It's my body. It's my right. And she wouldn't accept that. It was like, this is the law. I work for the government. You need to follow these rules.
Yeah.
And it was just like, there was no point, was there? Like,
there was no getting through to her, and it came to the point where she said, if you're not complying and you're not listening, we're gonna have to call the cops. So we said, okay, call the cops, because we were not gonna do the PCR testing. We're very against that. And
I think at the end of the day, what crossed my mind is this is never going to end if we don't say no.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just kept having this feeling, Dana, stand your ground. Like, this is scary. Yeah, we did absolutely nothing wrong to just stand our ground and say, look, we just don't want to do this. And they didn't like that. It was everything that was going on with the border guy and this woman. It was just like, they didn't like hearing no. She said she was going to call the police, and even though, like, for me, I felt like this was getting dark really quickly, but I just had this strong feeling that we need to stand our ground. This planet is just going in a bad direction. If we don't step up and do something, this is never going to end. And that's just this feeling inside me to just stand my ground.
Yeah,
so
I agree. So we said, okay, if you have to call the police, you're going to call the police. So there we were waiting, and we're still needing to have to pee. We've been waiting now, about like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And we did ask the public health agent, but she said, if you're not willing to put a mask on, you can't go into the bathroom. So I said I'd rather suffer, because I'm not going to comply with their
fake shit and
their draconian measures.
Yeah. And then I even looked in the car to see if there was a bag we could pee in, but the only bag I found had a hole in it. So
yeah.
We're now waiting for the police to come, and at this point we contact some friends of mine, which you're gonna see. We have videos. We did do some recording. The only mistake we made was not record everything from the beginning, but now we know. So we called my friends, and they told us like what to say. And my friends are really into common law, and I know there's like, you know, some people that don't really understand or don't really know what it is or have their own views on it, but I believe in it. That's just me. And they were telling us to say, my public estate does not consent. You need to release us immediately, because there's been no crime. Otherwise, we need to speak to a judge immediately. That's all we need to repeat.
Yeah.
So my friend told us that, but more what they told us, the most important thing they told us, I feel, is envision yourselves free and envision yourselves out of this situation. Like, really see yourself as what you feel is right, and really like tap into that. Don't let them like kill your spirit, and don't fall into fear, even though we were nervous, because you're human and it's normal. So that's just something I feel is really important in the story. And during this time, the cops ended up coming.
Yeah, they ended up coming. It was 2 women cops. We were waiting for about like 20-30 minutes. They tried to use their fear tactics to try to make us more scared. And in the meantime, while we were waiting, we thought, you know what, we're gonna listen to some music to empower ourselves during this time, because I feel like they were trying to
break our
intimidate
spirit.
us. Yeah. So we decided to listen to We're Not Gonna Take It. No, we're not gonna take it. And it felt so good to to listen to that and sing it and blast it in the car and look at them, and I was making eye contact and not breaking the eye contact.
Yeah.
We played I Want to Break Free from Queen afterwards, and then after that we played another song.
Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name of. Like, we just wanted to empower ourselves.
Felt so amazing.
Yeah.
And after 5 minutes of playing the music, the cops finally came, of course.
We have a video showing that.
We have a recording of the whole situation that happened with the police.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, hi.
Vous allez bien?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have my advisor.
Ok.
Just one moment. I'm gonna call.
Est-ce que vous comprenez bien le français?
I prefer English,
Yeah.
please.
English? Okay, but my English is not very good, but
That's
I try
okay.
for you.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you.
You have two options for now, okay? The first one, you go with your car at the you pass 1 day, 2 day or 3 day before you have the test negative. And when you have the test negative, you come back at your home, but you must do the because you pass the frontier.
Sorry, I just have to have my advisor here to help with this.
Okay,
So there'll
but
just be
your
a quick
advisor
second.
is lawyer or?
It's an advisor, and I just have to make sure that they're here. Just one moment, so they can hear what you're saying.
Have the chance to call him.
Well,
I'd
after
rather
you-
them hear everything, just so we can be on the same page, because otherwise, you know, in case there's something we misunderstand, and we don't want to misunderstand you, so
Okay.
it won't be long.
Okay.
I can call the other number.
We're gonna need her name, complete name.
Okay, I have to call the other number.
What is
These
the
two
name of
numbers.
your lawyer?
Again, it's an advisor.
What is the
What's an
difference?
advisor?
Yeah, just one moment. Why is it saying Skype? That's weird. Oh, thank you. Hi. No, we're with the police now. So I'm just gonna have you listen, because you guys are. I'm gonna have you on the speaker so you can be advising us. Is
Okay.
Is-
Yeah, he's here with me.
Thank you. Okay, and you're recording?
Mhm.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, what is your name? I'm a police officer at Sûreté du Québec. My name is Josiane. And what is your name?
Is that okay with you guys?
Sure.
Yeah.
My name is my partner.
Do you talk in French or you talk just
Yeah,
in
he
English?
speaks French actually. He's really
Okay.
good.
Bonjour.
Oui, bonjour.
Monsieur, c'est ça?
Non, je m'appelle.
Puis votre deuxième nom, c'est?
En fait, c'est pourquoi que ces deux jeunes personnes sont arrêtées aujourd'hui.
Mais là, c'est ça. Moi, je veux savoir, vous êtes qui, là? Parce que nous, en fait, on a un appel de la droite.
Parce qu'en fait, donc, déjà, il y a une arrestation. Une arrestation doit être faite.
Présentement, il n'y a pas d'arrestation. Monsieur,
Un commandant.
OK, monsieur, laissez-moi juste vous expliquer un petit peu la situation en premier lieu. Il n'y a aucune arrestation qui est faite présentement. Il y a deux options qui vont être offertes à madame.
Détenus, donc s'ils ne sont pas détenus par la loi, ils doivent être relâchés.
Ok, regarde, on arrête ça.
Sinon,
là.
le
Ok.
juge doit
No,
Ça,
you
ça
gotta
fonctionne pas.
hang out. Hang out.
No, he's staying. He's my advisor. He's staying on the phone.
No.
I
We got
I have the right-
order for you.
I am my own public estate, and you are violating.
No.
my
Yeah.
public estate does not consent. My
Yeah.
public estate does not consent.
And I
have
want
not
to
committed
speak
a
to a
crime.
judge
So
immediately.
if I did not commit any crimes. My public estate did not commit any crime. Therefore, if we're not being released, then we need to speak to a judge immediately.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to tell you, that you're gonna speak to a lawyer. but
No, not a lawyer, a judge.
Not lawyer.
A judge, because we did not commit a crime. There's no warrant for our arrest. So
We don't need a warrant for
we
arrest.
need to be
We can
released
explain
immediately.
all this to you, but you're gonna have to hang out.
This
the
is
phone.
a violation of
No.
my public estate does not consent to whatever it is that you would like to do and suggest. My public estate does not consent to this. And this is being, we have witnesses that are hearing this, and this is being recorded, and we will need all of your names for this
You're
as
gonna have
well.
all our names on the paper,
And
so.
just so you know, again, my public estate does not consent. Her public
yeah,
estate
my
does
public
not
estate does
consent
not
to this.
consent.
We did not commit a crime, therefore we need to be released. Otherwise, we need to speak to a judge immediately because there is no warrant for our arrest.
Okay, you finished now? Can we speak?
We're just going to be repeating the same thing. So
Okay,
either
so we're gonna repeat the same thing. We give you some option. They give you some option that are really easy. You have to go to the Montreal. You can go there by yourself, or otherwise we're gonna call you a taxi and everything is gonna be.
I don't know who this is.
No,
It's
I'm
J
not speaking-
Letra. J
not speaking
Letra.
with them, okay? And if you don't want those options, then you're gonna be arrested and we're gonna bring you to the Montreal.
No.
That's the difference. So we give you the opportunity to go there by yourself. If you don't want to go by yourself, we're gonna have to bring you there.
I do not
My public estate does not consent. And if this is
So
an
we're gonna
order,
arrest you?
if this is an order,
Yeah, it's an
it's
order.
an order. Okay, did you
Yeah.
hear that? That's going to be written down. It's an order. It's an order.
being recorded.
Yeah.
It's being recorded.
It's
right
being
now.
recorded and it was
We
by
have no
J
problem.
Letra.
I'm very
Yeah.
good. Je suis très à l'aise avec ce que je fais là. C'est comme ça que ça fonctionne. Puis
No,
la santé publique vous a avisé.
They're not allowing you to speak even. Yeah.
No, I'm not allowing you to speak.
But he's a right
You
to
speak
speak.
with-
My
you
advisor,
not with the advisor.
but you offered to speak to him before, and I don't know why you stopped. You didn't let him even speak.
Maybe because I try to understand what is these people.
Yeah, it's my advisor.
Well, but I don't understand what.
I know
is
you
the
don't
advisor.
understand, but if you give him the chance to speak, you will.
But he don't give the chance to me to speak with you.
No,
That's
he's
different.
my advisor speaking
But
for me.
What you choose? You go with yourself, or you under arrest because you don't you don't.
I do not understand what you're saying right now. All I know is my public estate does not consent,
Does not consent.
and we have not committed any crimes. Therefore,
You must release
you
us.
must release us, or we need to speak to a judge immediately.
No, it's not a choice.
Bon,
You have
on
to
les
choose.
arrêter.
Okay. But now you're under arrest because you don't go by yourself at the.
But we didn't
But you
commit
have-
any crimes.
You know, there has
Yeah,
to be
but
a
you
warrant for
understand
arrest.
you're under arrest for the santé publique. You
I
don't
do not
respect the santé
understand.
Can I get
publique,
some badge?
but you bring
Can
us
we have your
at
badge
a-
number, please?
Yeah, I give you all that.
I want it
When
now.
you
Yeah, we
finish.
need the badge
no,
number.
now you're under
No, now,
arrest,
now.
but you must have a silence and you call the lawyer after if you want.
No, we need to speak to
lawyer.
no lawyer. We're speaking
need
to
to
a
speak
judge
to a
because
judge.
there's no warrant for
You
arrest.
understand your rights?
There is no warrant for arrest right now.
Step
You
out
recording
of-
this?
Out of the car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go out of the
Is
car.
this an order?
Yeah.
It's an order. Okay, did you hear that?
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah, perfect. What's happening right now?
Anything? Just. It's fine. Go in the vehicle, please.
Now that you see what happened, the part you don't see is that now Ashley and I are in the cop car without our things. They took everything and they put it in the trunk, and they took our phones, they took
My wallet, and I said I do not consent for you taking my wallet. They said too bad, you're gonna get it later.
They took the phone out of my hand. This isn't on the video because the first police, when you see me being like frisked, there was a woman before and I had my phone in my hand. She snatched it, she twisted my wrist, she snatched the phone, she hung up on my advisor, and she was very aggressive with me because you'll see what you saw in the video. She was just really aggressive with me after, and then we were in the car and then started to drive off. And then at this point, at least for me, I think for both of us,
Yeah.
the peeing situation was just, we couldn't hold it anymore. And I said to her, listen, I really need to pee. You're gonna have to pull over. You're really gonna need to, because I can't hold anymore. We've been holding since we got to the US border.
Yeah, and we saw porter potty. We've been seeing restaurants, and we said like, just stop us here, please. And they said no, too bad.
Yeah, and I even said to her, look, one human to another, this is biological, I can't control this. She's like, I can't stop, there's nowhere to stop. And then we did mention there's a porta potty, and then she's like, but you're under arrest, I can't stop. And I was saying, you could stand next to us, like, this is a human thing, we can't control this. It didn't matter what I said. And then I told her, look, I don't want to have to pee in your car, because that's not something anybody, I feel, would want to do. It's humiliating. But I told her, but I can't hold it, and I'm not going to have a choice at this point. And she was just shrugged her shoulders, like basically,
Too bad.
it was just too bad.
Yeah.
That was her response. And
And I asked her how long is the drive until we get to our destination. She said an hour and a half. So already we've been holding in our pee for about three and a half hours about. So another hour and a half to be in the cop car holding in our pee. It was excruciating. So Dana,
I basically I know now I think about it, I don't know how to feel, but at the moment it was just do or die. I had to do it. I peed over, you know, where the feet are. It wasn't in the seat, but I peed in the car, and then I had to keep my feet on the side so I wouldn't step in my own pee. And yeah, I had to do it.
And they were laughing while they saw her peeing in the car. They were laughing. They were like making a little smirk behind their muzzles. And she looked at me, Dana looks at me, and she says, "Are you gonna do it?" And I said, "I can't. I thought maybe I could hold it in a little bit longer, but we ended up being in so much traffic. There was 2 stalled cars, and I felt like the universe wanted me to pee in the police car. I tried twice, I couldn't do it, and then eventually it came to the point where I was able to pee, and Dana was like, just relax your body. And
but I was getting really annoyed to see her suffering like that. Like, she was turning red, and I even told the police officers, I said, listen, what you're doing is inhumane. I would never do to you what you're doing to us. It's not right. Just because you're doing your job, that's what the Nazis did.
Yeah,
and I
we
told
called
them this.
Nazis.
Well, we said, well, the way you're behaving is inhumane and it's not okay, and they didn't say anything. And then after, one of them on the side said, well, you should have just gone to the facility. I'm like, well, just because we don't agree with your perspective on things does not give you the right to treat us like we're subhumans, and that's just not okay at all. And then
then I finally peed in the car, and yeah, it's a good fuck you to the cops. So let them clean up our piss. So something that we actually forgot to mention is in the cop car while we were being driven, we decided to, well, Dana thought it would be a good idea to start meditating and try to envision the best possible outcome.
Yeah, it's for me, like, when, I don't know if you've ever been in a police car in the back, and especially being treated like a criminal, it's not a good feeling, and I felt completely powerless in that situation. I didn't have my things with me, I couldn't record what was going on, and I just knew I needed to shift my status of my mind, like my mental state, my mindset. I needed to, because I could just feel fears creeping in, and then all these thoughts were happening, and I know Ashley felt the same, and I just took my crystal out of my necklace. Okay, yeah, I like crystals, just side note. And then I just started meditating as best I can. It was hard, but I tried like to shift myself from all those thoughts to, you're protected, you're free, see yourself. My friends did mention that too, and I was really trying to listen to what they were saying, and Ashley was doing it too, and I feel like that really had a huge impact on how things progressed after.
Yes, we created our own reality in the end, and we thought we were going to be taken to a police station, but in the end we were dropped off at basically like a COVID jail.
Brought us to a COVID jail. We're not going to mention the place because the people there were actually, it was just like we were brought to angels. I can't believe I'm going to say this about a COVID jail, but
they were really sweet actually.
Yeah, there's a plane passing, so we're just gonna
wait a little bit. Yeah, we also asked the cops if we could get their badge numbers before they were leaving, and they really tried not to give their badge numbers. They were like walking away in their vehicles, and we're like, we need the badge numbers now, and they said it like really quickly, both of them, and I tried getting both of the badge numbers. At least we have one of the first person's full name, and the other one we have like the initial of the first name and the last name, so at least that. And so here we are at the facility, and the people are very nice with us. There was like security and everything, and then it was just 2 people talking to us, and they were saying how the cops said we were aggressive and we were actually really nice, and
yeah, they just dumped us on the outside. Like they saw that we had mask exemption cards and we weren't going to go in with a mask, and they were like, okay, we'll wait out here and we're going to see with our director what to do, because it was nice that they were actually like trying to work with us and not against us, and that was a big shift from what we had experienced with the police. You know, they were actually trying to help us and work with us and not force us in any way. And we also explained that we're not doing a PCR test. So yeah, animals tend to overtake our videos and our experiences in life, which is fine. We welcome that. And yeah, basically, you know, we said, can we just leave and you'll give us the fine? And they said, if you leave, we're gonna have to call the cops to bring you back. So now we're waiting to see with the director what's going to happen. And then he came out and said, you need to do the PCR test, and if you want, you can come in with a visor. And we explained, look, we'll happily do the spit test. He's like, let me try for you. I really want to work with you, not against you. It was really sweet, you know. And we waited like 30-40 minutes. We spoke to those two people that were masked and like kind of like there to guard us from running away. And then they admitted they didn't share our perspectives, but they said, but we still respect everybody the same.
Yeah.
Or like, and we feel the same. It's all about like being human with everybody. We don't have to agree. Wear a mask if you want. I'm not against that, but I mean, don't tell me what to do with my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my breathing and all of that.
My body, my choice.
Yeah. So now finally they come back out, and the guy was trying to tell us that he tried, but if we wanted to do a spit test, we'd have to pay $3.85 out of our own pockets. And we're like, yeah, each
test.
And we don't have money for that. And then he's like, and you're gonna have to stay here for 3 days and then go home and quarantine for 14. And I just was completely honest with him. I thanked him. I was like, look, I could see you're really trying to help us, and I appreciate you putting in all this effort, but we're just not gonna do that. We're not gonna stay.
Yeah,
we do not believe in this. We don't agree with this. And then he said, you want me to call you a cab? And we were really surprised and just like, wow.
I can't believe it came to this moment of everything that we've been through, and then just like this, like, do you want just a cab? It was like as easy as that.
Yeah, and he's like, you're just gonna have to go around the corner to this parking lot to leave from there. And then we couldn't really understand where that was. So then he had those two people escort us there, and they were so sweet. Good luck with everything. And it was just like it went from complete like darkness to light in such a short time. But I felt I was done. Like I needed that shift because we tried so hard to be strong. And I think that because we didn't give up that faith in what we believed in, and I think that because we really used our minds to change our mindset, or else we wouldn't have attracted the nicest people. We could have ended up somewhere where they kept calling the cops to bring us back. You never know what we could have attracted, but I really believe
our minds are very powerful.
Yeah, and that's what I think this story is. Like, I didn't know how strong I was until I was in this situation, and then it made me see like I could go through this and then be free at the end of the day, and just say no and be free. Anyone can do this.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Everything happens for a reason, no matter how hard it may seem at that moment. But we saw that this happened for a reason, so that we could share this story with everybody and maybe help others become stronger with the situation, to just say no, as Chris Sky says. And yeah, regarding Chris Sky, we actually ended up calling him. After we were free, we decided to come here at this exact location by the water, so that we could clear our minds and just accept that we're free and we created this, you know. But we felt like we needed like closure or something, just some affirmation, you know, that we did the right thing. And I know we did the right thing, but we just had this calling to call Chris Sky. And so we called him, and we were a little nervous at first because it was like really quick, and he answered the phone, and we basically told him our story, and he's like, you guys got a case because we recorded everything. And
yeah, and he said that we handled it really well, like, you know, the way we handled it, and that he's like, he kept repeating to us, you need to sue the police.
Yeah. And before ending the call, he even said, don't forget what I said. Like, don't let these cops go. Actually sue these people. You know, there's going to be a lot of lawyers who are going to want to take your case, and we might get some monetary compensation for it. And
we feel I deserve that. I really need that.
We deserve it.
Yeah, yeah, we are.
Everything that we've been through, they humiliated us, they abused us. It was pure disgust, and we've dealt with PTSD from this situation. You know, and harassment from the public health agents calling us every single day. Like, you know, we can't live in fear. It's disgusting what they did to us, and we really feel like we had to share this story.
And it needs to change, and I think that's what this time is about right now. Like,
imagine what would happen if we all came together and we all said no to these situations. Like from the beginning with the mask situation, if we all decided no, we're not going to wear a mask, we wouldn't have been here now.
Yeah, you need to not let the fear control what you do and what you believe in, you know, like, because you're afraid of what could happen. But that's not, we can't live like this. This is not life. You have to have faith, and even if you don't know the outcome, like, believe that your positive intentions, your, you know, where you're coming from, a place of truth and integrity, that has value. And you know,
united we stand. If we all come together, we can take them over. The cops work for us. I think a lot of people forget that. Yeah. And we shouldn't be intimidated by what they say. Everything that they're saying is just mandated. It's not really a law, you know. If more people say that they won't comply with the mask or the vaccines, we wouldn't have been to this point. And I hope that this message is going to motivate people to start saying no and not complying with what's happening in the world, because this is the only way. This is the only way we get through this, is if we all say no and we stop complying with these measures.
And we're free if you look at us right now, and because we believe in it. We believe this is normal.
Freedom is the best. So is breathing fresh air.
Yeah. So if there's any lawyers out there that are interested in working with us, and you're awake and you're passionate and you really want to get the most money for us, like, and you're willing to work like pro bono and then take a cut at the end, please contact us, reach out. Or if you know anybody, please reach out, send this video. If there's any questions, you can also put that in the comments and we'll try to answer. And
thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for listening to our story.
Stop.